What is the reason that we are late today? Ill prepared, as is the case all the time. Harshit only comes down at 5 o'clock asking first what is the topic. Then comes and eats his food. We have to wait for him to finish his food.
Then does a video.
No, then he has to do walk also. Then he will do his walk once he's finished with everything.
So 100 strides out of 10,000, right? Done.
Then only we can
because
start.
I'm not in gym these days. I find little opportunities to start walking whenever I can. So 10k steps every day.
So he's done everything, after which we have been finally given the permission to start. Glad you can join us. It, as always, promises to be a rocking episode. Before we dive into the topics that we're going to be discussing today, 3 of those, as is the case all the time. I know there's a big controversy brewing over the LSG owners and the chat with Rishabh Pant. What's the reality? Where do things stand? That's something we'll talk about. Yashasvi Jaiswal making news for his switch from Mumbai to Goa. We'll tell you the reasons and the backstory behind it. And of course, there's a big match to also look forward to. It's being dubbed as Prince versus King.
So the Royal Derby.
The Royal Derby.
We can now go ahead with those 2 words, Prince and King.
The blue blood rivalry.
Blue blood rivalry, yes.
Yeah. Blue blood rivalry.
There are 3 royalties in this case. Ek is Shubman, he's the prince. Kohli is the king. Jadeja, also, he's got royal connections, right?
No, he does. No.
I thought he had...
That's a different Jadeja.
That is... No, but even...
No.
Okay, he calls him a royal Navagan. That is why... No. Does he...
You can call... I can call myself the...
the descendant of the Sultan of Brunei. But
No.
No, okay.
But you know, since we're speaking of royalty and all this, old clip you remember when Virat had once quoted Jadeja, he was I think on one of the comedy shows.
Oh yes,
Jadeja,
yes.
You know, whenever he goes back home, he comes up with
a
these
new
New story.
Like there are 2 buildings who'll move close to each other.
Every year it's moving closer and closer.
They'll move the size of a rice grain every time with that. You know,
and once
after
they
every
get
year.
closer, that'll be the end of the world.
Yeah, that'll be the end of the world.
So he gets another one. There's some statue which keeps bending a little bit every year, something like that also.
Yes.
Some king statue that keeps something like that. घोड़े की
टांग.
Yes, घोड़े की टांग.
घोड़े की टांग. 1 year it's this one is up, this one is
This
up.
one's...
Do we have anyone amongst us who's so entertaining with stories in the office?
No, everyone is a storyteller.
I think
here.
Siddharth.
Siddharth is a
Siddharth's a
storyteller.
terrific storyteller.
He does. But does he come up with make-believe stories or true stories?
True stories.
True stories. He doesn't.
Make-believe, though, I'll get...
He doesn't take
the other day we were talking about Rapid Action Force, how it takes control of these, situations that go out of hand and all. Whether the public gallery, Siddharth had an input there as well. Because...
See, if I may do a make-believe, I'll get caught. I don't have that luck with make-believe stories and all.
True stories he comes up with.
Genuine ones.
He's a genuine storyteller. Not like Ravi Jadeja.
Anyway, today is a royal day when you look at it.
Yes.
It is 2nd of April. Yes. And what happened on 2nd of April?
At this time, 14 years ago, we were all very tense. Yeah. The Sri Lankan innings was just about getting wrapped up. They had notched up a good total. We were tense. No total this high has been ever chased in the history of the World Cup.
And you weren't worried actually about the toss taking place twice. You'd forgotten about it by this time.
Yeah.
You had.
Mahela had hit a brilliant 100.
Not by this time. An hour from now.
Yeah, we were getting...
around this time.
Around this time,
yeah. Because 1 o'clock started. Yeah, 4 hours. I know IPL overrates are slow. But I think ICC overrates were far more decent.
That's stunning celebration of his as well once he got to the 3-digit mark. His wife was there, I remember, in the stands.
Christina.
Yeah.
Christina Jayawardene. But then, yes, we were getting tense. What's going to happen? But then, Dhoni hits it.
Where were you, Siddharth, at that time?
I was in Bengaluru. Doing live ball-by-ball commentary for that match. Towards the end, it became, we were numb. We didn't know, did it really happen? And after we finished all our commentary stints, 5 minutes later, we popped the celebrations in a big way. Yes, it lasted until 7 a.m. We were in office only from that particular point when Dhoni hit that 6 to all the stories, the follow-ups and everything. We were here till 7 a.m. and I had to leave to Mumbai.
Were you able to get to Mumbai?
Yes. I had already booked my tickets well in advance. So Bangalore to Mumbai, spent my brother's birthday there, brother's birthday.
Did Nikhil greet you there? Because Nikhil was there in Mumbai, I think.
I was in Mumbai, yeah.
But I was
at the ground.
On 3rd April, I came around 11 o'clock in the morning. It was one of the... I think I could have easily I will easily tell my grandchildren. It was the day which you had to celebrate, because since then we have not had a chance to celebrate. November 19th could have been that. What? April 2.
You celebrated 2 ICC wins just now. What do you mean you didn't have a chance to celebrate?
Yeah, sure. But then, can it be related to that day?
When you don't win, then you crib.
Yeah.
Champions Trophy, you lost 2017, you're cribbing for years after that. Now you won it, you don't value it. T20 World Cup, you lost the finals 2016. After that, you've not been winning. You've been saying for so long, you've been crying. Now you won it, you don't value it.
I think that was the best celebration. I mean, again, 6 a.m. we were in an office and then we had to come back at 10 a.m. So yeah, it was a good celebration on June 29th.
So we've had chances to celebrate.
Yeah. April 2, June 29th and March 9th. 3 days in the modern era, which you will not forget, aside from June 25th. Aside, that was that era, modern era I'm talking about. And of course, September 16th. September 24th. 2007 T20 World Cup.
I've forgotten the date, yeah.
September 7 T20 World Cup.
7, I don't.
September 24th.
83 was, I think, 25th of June.
Of course.
That we've established, although.
24th September.
24th.
Yeah. So all of India's major ICC wins. We can't forget, along with certain players' birth dates.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 10.
7, 8, 10.
Of the month of July.
And April 30th. And November 5. We can't forget that. And April 24th, 1973. We can't forget that.
Yeah.
It's a grand royal month for birthdays, for achievements in Indian cricket when you look at it.
Yes, Mr. Ahuja, where were you?
I was studying, I remember. I was still in school. It was to be board exams the following year. But that pressure builds when you're, just finishing your 11th grade and all. But I remember that day, no study, no nothing had happened. The party went all till early hours, the wee hours. And that kind of celebration I've not seen till date.
You went to India Gate?
I couldn't go to India Gate. The idea was to go to India Gate. But you couldn't cross. I still remember that junction at which we celebrated. All the neighborhood, everyone had gathered. WhatsApp groups weren't there back then, but you had just communicated enough to all congregate. And once it was established, not everyone could get to the India Gate. I remember ice creams being thrown, champagnes being popped, cold drinks being... There were trucks and trucks that came, people on top of trucks. Streets were glut with people. Yeah. We saw similar scenes happen last year in June. But I think the World Cup celebrations of 2011 were just at another level altogether.
Ended 28 years of a wait.
Yeah. And the nation celebrated like it had waited long enough.
Yeah.
They did.
They did.
Okay. Turning our attention to the subject at hand, and that happens to be... I'm not going to tell what I was doing there because it's going to take 1 hour. So I've done enough on Sports Today already. You can check that video out. We had something which is called the World Cup Journey. I think that playlist should still be there, where Rajdeep and I had done each World Cup.
Yes.
Yeah.
So... I'm sure if you search our channel, you'll find...
Okay, tell us the one interaction. I think you did also go into the Indian dressing room, did you, at that time?
No, you could not go. I had left the ground because I had to... I didn't see the 6 because I had to come out to do my show.
You were doing the lives, yeah.
So our show was right there. We had set up a set at Marine Drive, and that's where we were. And we had Ajay Jadeja, Dean Jones and Mr. Gavaskar as our guest. But Mr. Gavaskar didn't make it because he could not come out of Wankhede to where we were, and we were in the Police Gymkhana, which is just a walking distance. I walked from Wankhede to our sets. We had a massive set, outdoor set with jibs and everything. So Dino and Ajay were there, and we did a discussion. And from there, we could see Marine Drive, right? So Marine Drive was empty when we were getting ready because And we had TV and everything there on the ground watching, and then we had to go live. And it was all empty, Marine Drive, completely empty. I've never seen Marine Drive as empty as it was on that day. And then the last ball happened, we started doing a show, and I could really see, because we went on for a couple of hours, 2-3 hours, just talking about it. And I could just see the street getting filled, crazy amount of people coming. And then that jam happened, and because of which Mr. Gavaskar could not reach us, because his car could not travel that 100 meter. Or he also obviously could not walk, because he would have gotten mobbed. So there was no way that he could have walked there. So we had to do our entire show without him. But after that, I took the train. Me and Ajay took the train because it was so jam-packed after our show was done.
You could take the train with him?
We took the local train. It was empty at that time. You know, it must have been the last few.
Churchgate, right? Or CST?
No, from Churchgate. To go... we took it, it was right behind the police gymkhana, the train line. Took it to go to the Gateway of India till the last whatever stop that would have been there. From there, from there we walked to the hotel, because I was staying in that hotel, and then of course the team was there, and then I saw the team come, and crowds going crazy, and then I spent the night there. It was a scary night.
The Taj Hotel.
Yeah, because I was in the old wing, and that old wing had just opened.
Yeah,
after renovation. After the
November terror attacks.
Yeah, and so then once it had opened, and I think I must have been one of the first few guests to stay in a room in the old wing. The team was in the new wing. We were in the old wing, and that whole night, anyway, the adrenaline was so high. You had won, and you were planning for next day. And on top of that, like while sleeping also, I could, imagine these must be the corridors, this must be the rooms that people were hiding.
Preserved parts
jumping.
of.
Yeah. They're redone.
There is a plaque also there.
Yeah. Parts of some of the wreckage has been preserved. But of course, other bits have been
it had just opened, I think that...
Very eerie though. Even if you go, it's very eerie.
Correct.
I got around...
And as I said, now it's fine if you go after so many years. Imagine you're one of the first few guests to stay after the renovation.
I think end of 2009, beginning of 2010, it had just begun the construction work and everything. It finished. End of 2010, I think it opened. And April, the guests and all started to come. It took a very painful process to get it open though.
So then that's it. Then next day was good fun, interviews and all of that. It was a busy next few days. Anyway, that is what happened on 2nd of April. So many years ago now. 14 years.
We could go on and on with this.
Yeah, that's a long. It's a very long story. For that, I've done a special episode. You can check that out. It's called the World Cup Story or something like that. You'll find it. All World Cups we've done in-depth video. Me and Rajdeep Sardesai we've done of each World Cup. So 2011 you'll find all of that. In fact, no, there's also a documentary that Ashwin had produced on the 2011 World Cup final. Even that documentary is there on Sports Today. You can check that out. So
I think it's got interactions with all of you who were there.
Correct. So that is also there. That's why I don't want to spend too much time. Okay, let's turn our attention to the big story. I woke up this morning and social media is abuzz with once again LSG owner in the news. And so Siddharth,
over to you.
What is happening?
So after Punjab Kings absolutely thrashed Lucknow Super Giants, there is go back Pawan.
I want you to first tell us the reactions. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There is this viral image of Sanjeev Goenka.
No, next one. This is next.
Yeah. He was having a very intense conversation with Rishabh Pant. Now, what is the actual conversation? We don't know. We are not also insinuating that it may be on this, it may be on that. But there are two schools of thought in this entire intense confrontation that was there. Goenka's angry. Like, boss, we paid you 27 crores. You forget 27. You have just managed 17 runs in 3 games. Your team has had an abject surrender in 1 game. This was an abject surrender.
Yeah, though you lost very
by
narrowly.
a close margin. You won against Sunrisers Hyderabad. But only after 3 games now, Sanjeev Goenka is showing his frustration at this point in time. Is it money? Value for money? Is it result? That is why this entire thing is happening. Social media is divided.
I want to hear what people are saying. Please go through what people are saying at the moment.
So, one of the users is saying, I agree now, Sanjeev Goenka has all the rights to get mad at Rishabh Pant. 27 crores wasted. That is a that is why the sympathy is not that much for Rishabh Pant. It's also not that vitriolic for Sanjeev Goenka as it happened with KL Rahul's thing. But again, several people are going after Sanjeev Goenka because he mentioned he removed Dhoni as captain, which is technically not true. At RPSG, I think he wasn't running the shots there.
He was.
It was his brother, right?
I think they were partners, so equal. Yeah. Harsh Goenka was also there. Yes.
Insulted KL Rahul in the dugout. He showed dissatisfaction with Rishabh Pant just after one game. I mean, even there was a bit of a confrontation there also. One game in that sense. So that is one of the other reactions. He's got a history of doing it to many players. Last year, KL Rahul, this year...
This is another user.
Yeah. Another user saying, last year KL Rahul, this year Rishabh Pant. It's about time all LSG players should resign and ask Sanjeev Goenka to go out to bat and bowl. But he's also said boycott abusive bosses. And there is this another epic meme.
You would love this one the most, Siddharth.
Yes.
And the gentleman already says it's a parody account.
But that is okay. That is X's way of ensuring that nothing goes wrong. But then Sanjeev Goenka to Pant, after disastrous performance, Vasuli bhai is telling Arshad Varsi, bhai mera paisa wapas kar de please. So this is from Golmaal, in the Golmaal series that happened, Vasuli bhai. And again, Rishabh Pant and Shreyas Iyer. This is a royal derby, right, that we are talking today, GT RCB. That was the ultimate Karodpati derby. 27 crores and 26.7 crores. 1 Karodpati would become a Roadpati by the end of the time.
What's this user saying?
So this user is saying, look at Sanjeev Goenka's expression when he's talking to Rishabh Pant and look at his expressions when he's talking to Shreyas Iyer. With Pant, he's animated.
Oh, he won't be sulking and in front of Iyer and saying, oh, you beat my team, yaar.
Why should he have? He will definitely have different experience and expressions with the team that he does not own.
Yes. But then he goes on to say the frustrations there, but it does make sense when they are paid huge 27 crores to him. So there is support for Mr. Sanjeev Goenka, but there is also lack of support for Pant because Pant's T20I numbers aren't that great and his T20 numbers are also that great. That is the reason why it's a mixed social media reaction for both.
Now, we've heard from the social media. I don't think there's a lot of support from the LSG owner. There's either criticism of the owner or criticism of Pant.
Yes.
So, I mean, depends. The criticism is there, but depends who is facing that criticism in that.
But with Sanjeev Goenka's case, I have seen that amongst all the IPL franchises, he seems to be the most hands-on owner when it comes to discussing strategy with them. I don't think anybody else has done it.
No, but see, it's also, I think what people are questioning is the manner of discussion. There are a lot of owners that you do see at the end of the game. For example, Mumbai Indians owners are always there after the game.
So hands-on with strategy.
We don't know. No,
but how
see,
can
exactly?
Are you
we
sure
don't know what
that he's very hands-on with
is.
strategy?
We don't see. None of us know what the conversation is.
Yeah.
So we don't know whether somebody is hands-on or not or whatever. I'm just saying that he's not the only owner who's seen having a conversation with captains. But yeah, he is getting a lot of bad press. I don't know what is the reason. Is it because of how it seems on TV? Is it because of past incidents that even if there is nothing happening right now, that happens? So for example, if Pawan can show us that image and all of you can look at it right now, because that's the one that's gone viral. Now, on the face of it, if you this is a video image that has been smartly cut and put, 2 frames have been cut out of a moving image, right? Now, if you were to look at these 2 frames closely, it does seem like that, and I'd want everyone to look at these 2 frames. It does seem like as if, he is being reprimanded. It does seem like that with these images, right? But my point is that is a lot of conjecture. That is a lot of guessing that's happening, right? It could just be a casual discussion as well. It could just be a discussion about, I think we made the right call in the auction. I didn't know about this young player that you have got, Manimaran Siddharth, but he is a good spinner. So you spoke about it. So I'm just saying it could be that conversation. It could also be a conversation about Rishabh Pant probably, speaking to him about the pitch, and he's saying, I'll make sure that it is done. And we have to speak to, the state association. This should not be done. I'm saying that conversation could be anything. There is no way to establish at the moment that this is a KL Rahul part 2. Because that's what people are, equating it with. That's the first thing first. So till you know that it is, but then I look at it from the other point of view. If the crowd and social media or even the mainstream media is going to pounce on every time there is a conversation, maybe it would make for a good PR exercise or a good corporate communication exercise to ensure that these conversations are not happening at all. I'm not saying that these conversations are bad. They could be very healthy conversations which have nothing to do with reprimanding the captain. They could just be very casual conversations as well. But now that people are waiting for that one opportunity to pounce on the owners because of what happened with, let's say, an MS or what happened with KL, then all the more reason, if you want to avoid it and you don't want unnecessary people reaching conclusions without knowing the full story, or there's a lot of guessing that is happening, then just try and avoid these conversations altogether in the public eye. These casual, and for all you know, they could be very healthy conversations can happen. I'm just looking at it from the point of view from the team, because it does seem like that say it will negatively impact the team, and it could negatively impact the team without any fault of theirs, is my point. I don't know whether this conversation is really reprimanding him or it's a healthy conversation, but it will impact the team. It will create controversy, and nobody would like that, right, if you're running the team. And as you can see with the post that the team has also put, clearly it's had an effect on them, and they've actually come out and said that, listen, our chairman Dr. Goenka motivates the team to regroup, recharge, and come back with renewed spirit and focus on what's ahead. So possibly putting a message out there that it's part of his personality where he likes to speak to the team, and those conversations are to help them regroup, recharge, and come back with renewed spirits.
How I look at this, again, it's firstly not the first instance of Sanjeev Goenka having such a conversation with his not just with his captain but with the team as well. So we showed our viewers two sets of images. One is the screenshot of the latest post by LSG, in which, yes, people will look at this as PR activity, trying to just bury the hatchet and whatnot. So this is not the first instance, because I remember, and more this is becoming a trend, right? I think they picked it from the Indian team, where they had this medal ceremony, best fielder award and all. I think other teams have also started.
Nothing wrong with that.
Sorry?
Nothing wrong with
that. Yeah, absolutely nothing wrong with that. So not just that, I'm saying even in MIUC, Ms. Ambani will be there in the team dressing room, as is now Sanjeev Goenka for the second or the third instance. Or if not all the 3 games, 2 games I can tell you he's been there. So that's number one. Number 2 is also not the first time that we've seen him have conversation with, regardless of the result, with the concerned captain or his players on the field. We saw it happen multiple times previous season. We've seen it happen on all 3 occasions this time as well. However, the one thing I do get a feeling about him as a boss is that he's one of those who can't be one of those bosses that remains not just financially invested but is physically invested in the game as well. There are all kinds of team owners that we've seen in the IPL, those who will turn up for just the first match and then the final, those who don't turn up at all, those who are just happy, give the complete command to the coach and the captain and just happy giving their support. But Sanjeev Goenka is not one of them. Sanjeev Goenka, besides just being a financial investor, he is also invested in the game in a physical capacity. I'm not saying technical inputs also he's giving or he's helping them strategize better, but he is not one of those who will just be seeing all the action from the periphery. So he will, it's just part of his personality where he will, and he cannot, wait for those 30-40 minutes for the presentation to get over. And then when everything is doused, he will go into the dressing room and then have a chat, which he also is doing. But
is there anything wrong with that? That's the question. If, let's say, he's invested, and let's say he's invested, like Siddharth said, Some are not. Maybe he is invested more in the cricketing aspect also. Some maybe just invested in the financial aspect. Some, are just like fans who come, cheer on their team and go. Maybe he's invested more and he wants to be involved in the cricketing aspect. My point is there anything wrong in that? See, obviously he's invested in the sport that is paid that kind of money to buy a team at 7,500 crore.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you have invested that kind of money, and investments and the return of investments are also related to the performance. And even if it was not, maybe if you're a competitive person by nature, why wouldn't you be invested? I mean, this is a very big team. Tomorrow, if I give you charge of a local team in a local competition, within Noida, there's a competition happening and I make you in charge or you become a team owner. There is a possibility that when you're seeing a team lose, you might be frustrated. You might go onto the field and say, why is this happening? You're not playing. So, and then there could be some who could just sit back and say, I don't know much. So is there anything wrong in him being invested or in cricket and being involved in the cricketing aspect of the game?
Whenever he's become like this, okay, Dr. Sanjeev Goenka, sure, I understand the travails of putting in so much money. Yes, you are always tense that my return of investment has to be good on a team, my team has to perform. You are forever on pins. That's why entrepreneurship, business is one of the riskiest propositions that you can ever do. Okay, it can sink. I mean, we have seen so many teams of the past where they've invested money but they have sunk. For example, Kochi Tuskers, Kerala, you've seen Deccan Chargers, that has now been rebranded as Sunrisers Hyderabad because the ownership changed. But in his case, it's no coincidence that 2 instances in the past where he's been so involved in the team dynamics has backfired. 17.
So you think it's not healthy?
It isn't healthy.
Okay.
The KL Rahul incident really was your ultimate mirror in the face moment. It didn't look good. KL Rahul was just made to hang out dry at Uppal. And the boss at that time, already my team has suffered chasing, 168, they chased in 9 overs. My owner is coming and giving me a public rebuff in front of millions. Imagine the mental toll that it takes. And Sanjeev Goenka's case is coming at a point when lot of people in this world are talking about work and home balance, workplace environment and the toxicity in workplace environments. Is LSG far from ideal when you look at a team with his kind of hands-on approach, micromanaging everything, trying to do everything? It's backfiring. It's backfiring in a spectacular way. And as they say, there is a dialogue in a movie, "Arey to ghar mein suljao, bandook ghar mein suljao." Why can't he just stay away from the cameras knowing that everything will be scrutinized? Go to the sanctum sanctorum of the casino.
So you're saying, okay, fire the captain, but fire him inside.
Did KL Rahul deserve what he got last year?
That everyone spoke of.
Rishabh Pant, I understand why the frustration is triple that. Because he is the highest ever paid cricketer in the history of the IPL with 27 crores. But we were all wondering, Pant's numbers aren't that great. Why did LSG go for him for 27 crores?
There's a video going viral as well. I think in an interview with the host broadcaster, Mr. Goenka had said that people were telling us, they were giving us all sorts of names. Go for this one, go for that one. Nobody named Rishabh. And now people are saying you should have heard the others maybe.
You said that.
See, that is the thing. He's on thin ice. The 27 crores.
In a way, and Rishabh was right alongside. It's in the same interview where Rishabh Pant also says, "Koi bhi kar le, bas Punjab na kare." That whole thing.
Punjab showed him that.
And both of them, in fact, in a way,
that I don't think was great.
The butt of all jokes.
You may
right
feel
now.
like that, but you should not say it publicly. That tension.
I hope
Punjab na kare. Punjab gave it back in the social media post saying that tension tabhi khatam ho gayi thi when we didn't get him and we got Shreyas. So it comes back to bite you. So you can feel like that, no harm. All of us, maybe if you were in Rishabh's position after what has happened with a lot of people in Punjab, you could also feel like that, but you don't come out and said openly.
And you don't know how things change with time.
Yeah, you are belittling a franchise.
Exactly. You're belittling a franchise, and it is very unbecoming of a player to do that.
Yeah.
These aren't rivalries where, I've sworn that I'll stake at such and such club or such and such franchise, and I can take a dig if I'm an Evertonian, I can take a dig at Liverpool.
Even if you swear that I will stay here, the franchise will let you go, then you have no option.
It's exactly, this is not how it works, right?
Not everyone is Virat now who can
Loyalty
decide.
is a
Or
very
a Dhoni.
hyped thing.
Yeah.
Let us make one thing clear. Loyalty is a very hyped thing. In this era of cutthroat competition, okay, loyalty is a very hyped thing. And you get, for example, if somebody pays you 30 crores in the next auction and you've written in blood, I'll forever be in CSK,
Another
MI or
iconic
RCB.
day, today, as we just saw.
You won't go. That's the thing. So,
no, just coming back on what has happened here. See, I don't want to comment because I really don't know whether there has been an issue with Rishabh Pant and there has been any sort of pressure on him from the owners. We don't know that 100%. It's just that it happened with KL. Now people see every time he's talking, they assume. We don't know.
Yeah.
Having said that I also agree that an owner is invested, and it's not always about the money. I'm not even looking at money, but if you're just competitive by nature, you want your team to win. And so is Mumbai like that. They may not be talking about money, but when they don't do or are not doing well, they took a big decision of changing captain.
yes.
Just that it didn't happen. So clearly that also didn't happen without the understanding of the owners, right? So they also took a big decision. So in this case, if results are not coming your way as an owner, you have the right to speak to the captain that why it's not working or what are the issues. You need clarity, and that's the reality of any capitalist structure, right? IPL is that. It's run in a corporate manner. So there will be answerability, there will be questions asked. You need to come up with an explanation, and that's how it'll work. Fans, it'll never be like Indian cricket. And I know fans are very attached to players, and I agree that players deserve all the respect where you can do it behind the scenes. But at the moment, I'm not sure whether anything untoward was said to Rishabh. I just think that sometimes those images can be misleading as well.
But one thing, because we were discussing about the images we saw from the Mumbai Indians match the other day as well, where Neeta Ambani was in a conversation with Rohit Sharma. These images are in stark contrast to images that we saw that time. That looked a much more amicable conversation of sorts. This is not amicable.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember watching the video of it and it looked okay to me.
Which one? This one?
Yes.
I'm comparing now the two. Which one?
But
if you want
that's
to
different.
but
that
which
still
looked
would not
more
mean-
cordial.
Could be,
That
but-
looked more cordial than this.
Yeah.
I don't know what this means either. But that was more cordial is what I can say.
Yeah, but whatever we say now is conjecture, right?
It is.
It
It is.
So we don't know.
Because we don't have stump mic in that particular thing wherein we'll catch those conversations. Well,
That
see, it is very strange, okay?
Don't get ideas to the broadcaster.
See, cricket and business are two very, very risky things that you've merged, okay? Business, if you look at the RPSG, if you look at Goenka Group, it is very risky, the business. Cricket, the moment you lose, you'll get brickbats. The moment you win, you'll get the plaudits. But you lose more than you win in most occasions.
Yeah.
Do you need to have this kind of an intense conversation at a time when you are when you know that the cameras are in focus, last year that it wasn't favorable to you, do you need to do it? I don't tell you how to play cricket, you don't teach me the business.
That's my thing, That's my thing in this whole thing. The one thing I think that Mr. Goenka will have to understand is that he may be invested in it financially and he has all the right to expect everything from Rishabh Pant and his team members. But it's still not his realm. It's still not his subject area. It remains the subject that has been studied and preached by the others far more than him. He may not like it because he's more powerful financially, but truth be told, it's for the others.
Exactly.
He wants to make more money out of it. He may like the game as well. All those things set aside, and he may be very passionate. I think part of what we see is passion also. Maybe he is that competitive personality. Maybe he is in that much love with his franchise and the game that he wants to be on the winning side. Totally fine with that. But it's still not a subject area. It remains the subject area of the others.
See, sports entrepreneurship.
But that doesn't mean that he has no right to question. He has the right to question.
He can do it in a better way.
Yes. So, and before we move on, are these instances just in his case because it happens too often? Is it avoidable or not?
It is avoidable. Do it in the sanctum sanctorum of the dressing room. When you know that the cameras are going to be there in the entire ground, why you have to get it and subject yourself to this kind of conjecture? Why does Lucknow Super Giants have to put out a tweet 1 hour before we are doing this dugout? 1.5 to 2 hours before, they had to put out that tweet. Damage control, right? Because the image is getting absolutely decimated. So that is why I feel that do it in the confines of the dressing room. If a boss, when there are about 40-50 people on the floor, gives an employee a dressing down, that employee feels disgruntled. But if you do it in a cabin, the damage to your mental scar is lesser as compared to your 40-50 people actually saw me getting a dressing down.
Public reprimand is...
Public reprimand is the worst thing, and public behavior also is, you have to manage that, which I think Dr. Sanjeev Goenka should abide by that. Once bitten, twice shy. I hope he gets the message the third time.
Nikhil, avoidable for you or not?
I've spoken enough on the subject. I don't even know whether,
No, but I'm just saying this whole...
No, I said that at the start also. I don't want to be repetitive, as in I mentioned it at the start, that, if it was to be run by a... it brings a bad name to the franchise. And if it does, then I would manage it better.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that there is anything untoward that's been spoken. But if I manage the PR or the COPCOM of that entity or the company, I would do a much better job in managing that. So you guys let us know your thoughts. We'll get to that. We have plenty more to talk about. The other big story, Yashasvi Jaiswal, moving to Goa from Mumbai, the place where he spent years in the Maidan, the Shivaji Park, and played all his cricket, the place that really gave him that cricketing culture and technique and that Khaduspanti. He's leaving that state at such a young age. I mean, these are usually things that happens when you're towards the end of your career and then you decide to become a professional and go and play for some other state. Now, he's at the peak of his career. He could very well have been a future Mumbai captain, and you know how Mumbai take their domestic cricket so seriously. At a young stage where he's just about peaking, he's decided to move on to Goa. Came as a bolt from the blue.
That was a shocker. Honestly, it's a shocker for me because...
For a Mumbai man like Siddharth, he's everywhere.
I know, because see, as Nikhil
Does he have roots in Bhopal as well?
No. He's a UP guy, na?
Yeah.
I think he's from Eastern UP, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember the exact
Yeah.
place.
See, he came when there was nothing. Mumbai cricket gave him everything at this stage, right from the Maidans of Shivaji Park. Then when you look at under 19 days, he was one of Mumbai's best emerging batters. Double 100 in the Vijay Hazare for Mumbai.
He stayed with his uncle over here in the ramshackle...
Badoi. Okay. So, imagine, 6 years Mumbai has given him so much. Mumbai cricket made Yashasvi Jaiswal. Suddenly, he's joined 2 other former Mumbai players in the exodus to Goa. Siddesh Lad, Arjun Tendulkar, and now Yashasvi Jaiswal. Either there is something going on at the MCA which all of these players are not taking very lightly to. And kind of when I had done the live, it suddenly clicked. Where the comments by the by the Mumbai selector during the Mumbai versus Jammu and Kashmir match become a kind of a...
When they lost.
When they lost, and they were saying, no, international players don't take Jammu and Kashmir, don't take Mumbai cricket very seriously. He had a lot of unfavorable things to say about the creators who had come, played that particular game, and then they left. Was that the tipping point? Why would a Yashasvi, with all the life that is there in one of the greatest ever domestic sides the country has ever produced, want to leave? Arjun Tendulkar, Siddesh Lad leaving, okay, maybe you could
That's
damage,
a different
that's
case.
understandable.
Because you're not
Again,
going to be making the Mumbai team.
Yeah.
but Yashasvi, as
That
Nikhil
we-
Pandey, he could have been captain.
That we saw with Agni as well, right? Agni also moved out of Mumbai.
He went to Mizoram.
Yes, and exactly because he wasn't
But
going
that's
to be
because of not getting a lot of chance.
But yeah, with Yashasvi, it's a bolt to the blue, as Nikhil said earlier.
I mean, when you look at other prominent names who shifted from Mumbai, Wasim Jafar, but he was at the fag end of his career. He moved to Vidarbha.
No, there's no comparison. There are a lot of players who moved out from their states to play for other teams.
Karun Nair.
Karun Nair did it. Yeah, lots of them. But this has no parallel. This has no parallel. And so that is what tells me.
What explains this?
I mean, there's a deeper story to it, is what I'm picking up. There had been a few issues that he had with the Mumbai team in general. If you remember, he thought that his commitment was being questioned by Mumbai on a few occasions. One, on the number of times he would make himself available to play, and two, about his shot selections in certain games. I think he played a few T20 games as well for them. Didn't get a lot of runs against in that Jammu Kashmir game as well. So he felt that he was being targeted by the dressing room. Apparently there has been a bit of a fallout between him and the relationship that he shares with the captain Ajinkya Rahane. What I'm picking up also, there was an incident that happened in the dressing room where Yashasvi showed his frustration as well. Kicking Ajinkya's kit back too on one occasion is what I hear happened during the Ranji. So I think that relationship was going downhill and it was untenable. And I think Yashasvi felt that he wasn't given the kind of backing from the MCA as he wanted. So going into the future, and as I said, that he felt that his commitment was being questioned in terms of him not giving his best for Mumbai. So which is why he's put in a request and wants to move out of Mumbai.
Wow.
I mean, again,
so did this
sources in the know of things are telling me. I can't
So this
guarantee.
incident was in the Mumbai J&K game, or was it in some
I
game?
cannot. Also, I don't know the exact
He only played that game. I think the other one, he said he had an ankle
Vidarbha.
ankle
Correct.
sprain or something, so he didn't play the other one.
Correct. So that's why.
So
I'm
I
saying.
understand
so it's
that
a
bit.
combination of things.
But my point being this whole not making yourself available enough for the state that gave you this whole platform, but that holds true for so many other players also, right?
Yeah, but that it
can't be the only reason. When I'm trying to reason this,
No. It's not about what happens with other players. No, it's not Mumbai who's taken a call. Then it can be like, oh, there are so many others. Why? It's he who feels aggrieved. Now, I don't know. Let's say we're working here and we're made to work 12 hours a day. So that decision, like I could work for 12 and be okay, and he may not be okay, but he has no option. Or you could be like, no, I'm out. I can't. I'm just saying. So that's an individual decision. So while others are also doing it, does not matter. No, that does not influence his decision. It's his decision that he's taken. That he feels that he's being targeted. He does not feel the comfort that and the backing that he thought he would get, and he feels that unnecessary questions are asked of him for his commitment. Unnecessary questions were asked of him about his shot selection. So when he felt targeted, he thought, okay,
He could
I'll
have
move
won.
out. Now he could be wrong in feeling he's targeted. Maybe they are this hard with everyone, and he felt he's a bit targeted. Or maybe there's merit in him being targeted. Or maybe there's merit in him feeling aggrieved that he's been unnecessarily targeted. Or there's merit in Mumbai cricket feeling that he's not giving that 100%. I'm just saying that there are all sorts of versions of this, and everyone could look at it differently. But all I'm saying is that right now that relationship became untenable.
Okay.
In which case he said that I'm opting out. Mumbai didn't give up on him. Mumbai would have obviously picked him. In all of this, just just digressing a bit, I think in all of this, one person who will sort of benefit will be Prithvi Shaw, because he had been put out of the Mumbai team. Now, with no Yashasvi, I think he gets another shot at playing for Mumbai. That's another thing.
He could have had any franchisee, but why Goa? The team that doesn't have a rich Ranji legacy. I mean, they made the knockouts. They have been there for decades, but Goa.
See, anyway, I was just looking at the calendar. He'll hardly have any time to play.
Yeah, I was also looking at that.
There's South Africa.
I was also looking at that. Yeah.
But then that's a short-term thing, right? We're only looking at the next 12 months and saying, okay, fine, this Ranji season anyway, you won't have been available. The fact of the matter is that it's a long-term decision. Na? So you don't know how long this carries on. It's not going to be, okay, I'm just opting out for one season, right? In his mind, he doesn't want to do. That's another thing that, like it happened in Sarfaraz as well. Left Mumbai, went to UP, came back to Mumbai.
Just a thought that crosses my mind. Given how young Yashasvi is, still all of 21?
No, he's 24, 25. Because
23.
23. Under 19 World Cup, he played in 2020.
He clearly has a long career ahead of him. Much longer than people who may be around right now and may not necessarily be around for that long. It could be an Ajinkya, it could be the coach as well, and these people aren't going to be having as long a career as he still has ahead of himself. So could he not have,
in fact, you're right. He had a run-in with the coach as well. That game was at BKC. Yeah. So that
Bandra Kurla Complex, Mumbai.
So that's the game where he had a bit of a run-in with both the captain and the coach. I was just trying to look at the coach, and the coach at that time was Onkar Salvi. So he had
with
both. So it was that BKC game.
Where everything could go wrong for Mumbai on the field, it went wrong even off the field. So that was the tipping point. Plus the selector also making those unfavorable comments in the aftermath of that loss. It almost jeopardized Mumbai's qualification chances for playoffs.
Yeah.
So, but big call. I mean, to leave a legacy team like Mumbai, massive call.
Okay, he could also have been Prince. He could still be Prince. But let's turn our attention to the game today.
The Royal Derby.
Which is King versus Prince. RCB unbeaten. One of three teams to be unbeaten so far would be hosting their first game at home. But as we've seen, home has not really been very fruitful to a lot of teams this season. Whether it will be for RCB, we'll find out.
They've been the ones to, cause all the damage to teams playing at home. You look at KKR, they went away, beat them there. That was the opening match. Then went to Chepauk and registered their first win in 17 years. So if there's one team that has done all the damage to the big teams, that's been the team without a title, and they're doing everything to ensure that as the tournament goes along, that they have the Salah Cup Namde thing happen this year.
I mean, that is really going to be one of the most important things that we are going to see, because looking at it, last time they faced RCB versus GT, it was Will Jacks who absolutely demolished them.
Yeah.
RCB, looking at their current plight, they look the most stable team. I've never said this about RCB. King's Kingdom looks really, really stable, and it is led by a very able commander.
But interesting, while they look stable, it's been an ideal start. 2 wins out of 2, both away, both against very, very big, incredible teams. But it's the home record. So that 41%, I think, is their win percentage at home. That's the lowest. For
Delhi Capitals and Lucknow Super Giants.
Delhi have about 46, 47, I think.
Yeah.
Lucknow have about 44.
Yeah, that's what. It is.
So 41 win percent. So you're only winning 4 out of 10 matches that you play every 10 matches. You don't play 10 in a season at home.
Yep.
But 4 in 10, that's the win percentage that we have in mind. Does this team, given the start that they have, think about that number, or is it just a number and they forget about it?
I think they'll forget about it, because see, they have already achieved things which they shouldn't have. Beating KKR after 2 years. Winning in Chepauk after 17 years.
Yeah.
This team is out there to break certain records. They are out there to ensure that, certain numbers are dispelled. But yes, it is not the season of home advantage that we have already seen, except Mumbai, where they played one game and they won one game against KKR.
Or Delhi.
Delhi have not yet played.
No, but Vizag is also their
Vizag,
home.
yeah, they have won both games if you look
Yeah.
at it against LSG and against SRH in Vizag. But the real test will come for them in Arun Jaitley.
Yes.
And looking at it, this is going to be the acid test for RCB, because what derailed the women's team in Bengaluru, RCB WPL, their home games proved to be a disaster.
Yeah, they had a very good start and they lost quite a few matches once the tournament shifted to Bengaluru.
Because in those pitches at the Chinnaswamy, their whole composition and their mindset totally went awry. RCB in the men's team would be wanting to avoid that. They have to make the pitches according to their combination, according to their strengths. So one hopes GT at this point in time are slightly low on confidence, although they did beat MI. So RCB, the king might dominate over the Prince this time. But the Prince, I think, has looked rather, you may say, okayish. His first game, he didn't look all that great. But then against Mumbai, he showed glimpses.
38 or 27?
Yeah. But the guy who will set up GT this time could be Sai Sudarshan. Sai Sudarshan has got an excellent last 5 games. But Virat Kohli against GT, 350s and 100 against them. So the king might rule over the Prince this time.
Oh, they are the team in form, without doubt. Gujarat, on the other hand, won one, lost one. So we'll have to wait and watch. But you know what is going to be interesting? They've relied on a Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Josh Hazelwood, of course, has been their standout bowler. But then bowling at the Chinnaswamy Stadium, where you end up leaking a lot of runs. I think the true test of Josh Hazelwood is going to come here. Gujarat batting also, I think that will be a true test for their bowling, because you have a Shubman, you have a Jos Butler, you have a Sai Sudarshan who's been in outstanding form. So that top order has looked good. Their middle order has been an issue for Gujarat, but the top order has been firing. So I think the real test for RCB bowlers is going to be here. Of course, the standout things for RCB for me has been Rajat Patidar, the batter and the captain. I think he's the one who's, again, RCB wasn't my top 4 pick, primarily because, you know, I did see a issue with their bowling or their middle order, and I was not sure of their captaincy. But I think one man who's really changed my opinion about this team has been Rajat Patidar, the captain, in both forms. The captain plus the batter looks very good. In fact, I was watching this podcast of Venkatesh Iyer, where he said that Rajat Patidar, he said, is one of the finest batters I've ever seen, and he included all batters he's seen in the IPL. And he said, of course, same state and so on and so forth, but he's like, you know, in a common talk, if he gets out, like playing domestic cricket or whatever, it's like it's a given that it was a good ball. Otherwise, he can't be out.
Wow.
So like that's the understanding that we have. Acha, Rajat out ho gaya, matlab ball is amazing. Must have been an amazing delivery. He said that's how technically sound and well organized he is as a batter.
Wow.
And he's really doing that. So I think, RCB do start in as the favorite. But before we take the questions, I'm going with Gujarat. This encounter.
Because of Rachin's twin, Ravi Srinivas, Sai Kishore.
In general, I thought that they've assembled a good team. They've not been firing on all cylinders, but I think if I had to go against the flow, I'll go with Gujarat in this game.
I just think the tide is extremely strong. The momentum is really with RCB right now. First start, and fans are going to be turning up. They've got a very good break at times. It's the kind of break that you need as well. You know, just keeps you fresh. I think they are making it 3 out of 3 purely on form right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wish from the GT side, my favorite fires, AB Tewatia. But he's also not been in good form. And
But he's not got chances only.
He's
Wahan
not-
run out once happened, and then the other time also
yeah.
coming out at that situation where he's not getting enough balls to play.
Exactly. But then, yeah, AB Tewatia. But then I think RCB will start as the favourites because I think Rajat Patidar has instilled that fear, that thing that, okay, whatever's the outside noise, calmly just go about, do your stuff. The matchups are also ready for them. I mean, Bhuvaneshwar has a great record against Josh Butler. He's dismissed him a lot of times. Then Hazelwood, yes.
See, Tewatia, 2 matches, 2 runouts.
Yeah.
1 run out without even facing a delivery.
Diamond duck, no? He got a diamond duck at that
So
point.
he's not really been beaten.
But I'm
as-
excited from just a quick word on Gujarat. What excites me a little more about Gujarat than Sai Kishore. He's been good, but I think it's Prasad Krishna. I really liked his spell. I think the last match.
Oh, he's going to be playing at home.
Yes. So I think in fact the previous match it changed because of his spell. 4 overs, those 13 runs only that
2 wickets.
and the 2 wickets he picked. I think that completely changed the match, and things that he wasn't doing in the first match. Really good execution of the slower one, changing his lengths. I think Prasad Krishna was very impressive.
I mean, for the
how these guys are able to do it here at the Chinnaswamy where the ball absolutely flies. This is a test for Josh Hazelwood also.
See, today it will be Siraj versus Kohli. First time they'll be going.
But I saw visuals from yesterday's practice. Did you see?
Yes.
Yeah.
One tight hug they gave each other when they saw.
Yes.
But
Long
yeah,
one.
they let him go. He should be fired up. Scrambled seam should be coming. in.
Yes.
Scrambled scene, yeah. I remember this clip where I think it comes from this test series.
There you go. If you follow sports today on social media, on Instagram, you would have seen those pictures as well.
And Virat knows that he's got a very good scrambled seam because I think it was around the New Zealand, one of the New Zealand test matches, where he was telling Rohit, scrambled डाल नहीं पता लगेगा fielder उधर ले ले, and he told Siraj to bring in the scrambled seam. So you know, and we saw scrambled seam how effective it was for Siraj in the previous match against Mumbai.
Rohit. He got Rohit out
And
of the peach.
Rickleton.
Yep. Peach of a delivery.
Swal, please, can we have? Let's go. Dave.
Praise publicly and criticize in private.
Wow, Dave, actually, that's a life lesson.
Yes.
What a mantra. What a mantra.
Medan Shroff.
Maybe he was praising him only.
Could be. Could be.
But
then
can't
again,
be. Yaar.
the
After those 3 knocks,
intensity-
na, it's tough to praise him.
the intensity with which you're saying, nahi yaar, ye nahi chalega. For 27 crores, you would definitely not be. Medan Shroff from the UK is saying, Kohli was trying to emulate Salt versus CSK. He's better off holding a shape and playing correct cricketing shots like lofted drives and flicks.
Agree.
Was he trying to do a Salt?
No, but I agree with the others. He
Yeah.
doesn't need to change his game. I think
Yeah.
he's better off,
Doing the-
conventional cricket, and he can really up the tempo if need be.
He can.
The last time though it was a bit scratchy,
He was.
but yeah.
Priyanshu saying Siraj got Rohit. I'm sure he would come hard at Virat. Even Ishant is there.
Oh,
Friendly,
yes.
emotional battles loading.
Yes.
I think Ishant got him out in the DCRC.
He did.
Right?
He was smacked for he in fact troubled Kohli a lot.
Yes.
First, beat him, then there was some words exchange, and then ultimately gets his wicket as well. That was a very, I think in
was
all
a
of that,
friendly
Virat
battle.
got a boundary as well, but that was a very good battle.
I think it was an edge, not a proper boundary. I think it was an edge of Ishant. And
Yeah, that was a very good battle from last year. And
Good
while
friends, buddies,
childhood
childhood buddies.
while while Virat was going back as well, gives him a little nudge as well, to which Virat wasn't angry at all. He knew it was a friendly nudge.
though Delhi, yaar.
There is the homecoming in many ways of Ashish Nehra also. He's been the
RCB.
coach.
Of course. Yes.
Ran away from.
Nehraji, I remember, yes. He's been with so many franchises here. That's why I don't know at home. He might have multiple homes. CSK he was an integral part of. He was part of
No, he's
Pune
saying
Warriors.
coaching.
No, CSK also.
Coaching he was.
Yeah, but also as a bowler, as a
Also,
He was never coach there.
no, I don't think so.
For-
He was
So he's saying return as a coach, no? He was with
Coach.
RCB in a coaching capacity, na?
okay.
also
Not as a player.
Not as a player.
Parthiv as well.
Parthiv also, yes. Parthiv
Parthiv.
Patel was coach of RCB. He was on the coaching staff at one
Staff.
point. Yep. Yeah,
Plenty of
plenty of homecoming.
There'll be
yes.
plenty of reunions.
Okay, freaking awesome says RCB have a 50-50 record at home. They won more games by chasing. Only once 220 scored in Bengaluru when chasing. Although it's a batting paradise, 220 is not easy to chase. Good point.
Yeah. 220 wasn't that 287 chase. 262.
Yeah.
Oh. Somik Arayar is saying being angry is one thing, but in front of camera, in dressing room and in private is three different things. Which scenario is best according to you for team or individual? Of course, I'd have to say that it can be in the dressing room or in private, because dressing room also, I think when you're going to be talking about frailties of a team, it's best that everyone in the team listens, because then the message doesn't get passed on to everyone. Then you know that we could have done. So I think the second scenario for me.
Same. Second, dressing room.
Sarat Chandra says, Nikhil sir, I don't think BCCI will make Shreyas as captain based on IPL. If captains are made on IPL, Rohit would have been made in 2016, but they chose Kohli. Now they will choose Gill. Brand plays role, I feel. I'm not really sure about your brands playing a role in that. It's sometime an opinion, like someone who looks aesthetically very good and so on and so forth, and you think has a long future, then possibly you go with that player. And only IPL cannot decide, but I think it will strengthen his case for sure.
Yep, it will.
And he's a good captain, so no doubt about that.
Yep. Chaitanya Bagga is saying, you are going one-sided against Pant, but I'm seeing another side. After BGT, he can't play any match. He didn't play any match in Champions Trophy. Came directly to the IPL. His form has dipped now, and also 27 crore burden. So
no, which is true. But Chaitanya, that is something that a player has to deal with, right? I agree with the points that you're making of not getting a consistent run or thing. But see, all players are judged like that. There are so many players who then miss out, and then that is what differentiates a long-term performer to somebody who does not fulfill the potential. So I think these are impediments, but that happens in the career of a lot of players. Sometimes injury comes in. Yeah. Once you come back, you have to get firing. Maybe you'll get 2-3 games, but if you don't, then you get dropped as well. It happens to fast bowlers.
Correct.
So that's the nature of the beast. Yeah. What do you do?
Correct. Anshu Mishra, Nick sir, Australia best trio, Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood played more than 60 tests and playing for 10 years together.
Yeah.
Then how India best trio, Bhuvi, Bumrah, Shami just played 2 tests, 3 ODIs and 3 T20As
because I think they formed in coincide. Injuries also happened. Also, see, remember, there were 2 other bowlers who were also doing very well in Umesh and Ishant at the time.
Sharma,
so I think they also made that trio complete, right? So because of which maybe these missed out.
Yep. Siddharth is saying, my 2-4-11 story. Me with my friends got to my home with wafers, drinks, crackers. Sachin gets out, my grandma asks everyone to chant Hanuman Chalisa, while 82nd one, MSD finishes with 6.
Yeah, that's the same scenes in the Indian dressing room as well. They were very nervous, and Sachin, Sehwag all sitting, nobody was allowed to move.
I think Gary Cousin gets addicted, no one moves.
Yeah.
Isn't it all sitting there?
Final comment before we wind up. We've got Vinod. He says Hardik's personality is something like Simon's, and his statements while captaining is no lesser than cringe, he feels. It's better for India to not
consider him for captaincy, to get the best out of him.
I think that's unfair. I think he did well as India's captain in the T20 format.
One series loss, he was dumped.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But then statements, in what way are we interpreting as cringe? I think that's subjective. What are the statements? I mean, it can be interpreted as frank, it can be interpreted as straightforward, it can be interpreted as cringe. He will never unite people with his opinion. That's what I can only.
But you don't have to be liked by everyone. You always don't have to be the nice guy.
So Exactly. So
that's okay.
Yep, in about half an hour's time, we are now going to see RCB versus GT. Threat of rain though, but I think that rain threat has eased off. I think you will see.
No, there's still a rain threat.
Oh, but then
it'll be raining 6s.
Of course. That's true. But then, I mean, even if it rains, the ground will be ready in 10-20 minutes. Yeah. That subsurface aeration drainage is the greatest that they've got. So, yep. We'll be back in half an hour for the toss of RCB versus GT. First home game at the Chinnaswamy. You don't want to miss it. So from me, Nikhil and Harshit, it is bye-bye. We'll be back very, very shortly for the RCB GT match. Bye-bye.
Bye.